senators, and representatives, I have the distinguished honor of presenting the President of the United States.
I was 13 years old. I lived on Central Street, Noma Watkins' house at the time, and we lived there at that time. And on my way to the drugstore, and I kept hearing radios all the way to town. I think everybody on that street had a radio on.
Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate, of the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
I think that everybody in Warren was concerned and scared and really didn't know what to think.
The United States was at peace with that nation, and at the solicitation of Japan, was still in conversation with its government and its emperor, looking toward the maintenance of peace in the Pacific. Indeed, 1 hour after Japanese air squadrons had commenced bombing in the American island of Oahu, the Japanese ambassador to the United States and his colleague delivered to our Secretary of State a formal reply to a recent American message. And while this reply stated that it seemed useless to continue the existing diplomatic negotiations, it contained no threat or hint of war or of armed attack. It will be recorded that the distance of Hawaii from Japan makes it obvious that the attack was deliberately planned many days or even weeks ago. During the intervening time, the Japanese government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. I regret to tell you that very many American lives have been lost.
Of course, with all concern, Germany was going on about that time, and they were talking about war anyway, and when Pearl Harbor, it was a surprise to all of us about being attacked by Japan in Pearl Harbor, but it had us all worried at the time, had us all scared. Mr. Herring, who was superintendent of the school, had everybody come in the auditorium the next day and had a radio up there on the stage, and we listened to the whole speech. They was all like me. They didn't know really what to think about it, but they was nervous. What's he going to say? What are we going to do? I never will forget. I don't like war. Eleanor don't like war. We don't like war, but I'm asking Congress to declare war on Japan.
No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory.